Yay Networks.
Hello.
Here we are,
Another day.
sitting here, ready to tell you things you never asked to know. I'm Emily.
And I'm Laura.
And this is Cheers to That Shit. How's your knee life thing?
Well, knee is getting better. I'm increased my physical therapy, so I'm doing a lot more things. I still can't really do the stairs. I have to go like up, and then up. You know what I mean? Like one foot,
Like a little puppy?
like a kid. Yeah. So that's the hard part. But other than that, I'm getting around pretty good. I'm ready
I will
to
say
be
your
back to
knees
normal.
like really putting a damper on my Instagram and Reels
Yeah,
and TikTok
yeah.
dances that I want to do.
Yes, thank you.
Starting to really get in the way.
I have to say that was a positive for me, that I don't have to do any ridiculous dances or whatever to make any reels. But soon enough.
Well, we had some friends come and stay with us. It's my oldest godfather.
Mhm.
So again, we didn't do anything crazy or
I
exciting.
saw on your story you guys were like making cookies and I don't know, yogurt and doing lots of fun kid stuff.
Yogurt.
I thought mango yogurt or something that y'all were making.
Pineapple sorbet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Ugh,
Yogurt.
I didn't memorize what you guys were doing. It just looked like you were doing fun stuff with your kids.
Fun kid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, nothing.
I was like, interesting that you asked about my knee, because I was kind of, going back to a time that doesn't exist anymore. I went to a college gymnastics meet and was watching these girls like.
What college gymnastic meet did you go to?
You're looking at me like you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about.
I mean, like, I know what a college gymnastic meet is, but how random that you went to one.
Well, I mean, I was a gymnast.
I know, but out of the how many years I've known you, I don't.
Well, okay, whatever. I've been wanting to go to one, for a long time. And so I just happened to look at the schedule for NC State because,
You went to an NC. Wow.
I know, right? That's big for me. That was big for me. But they were
you rooting for State?
Heck no.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So interestingly, well, I won't bore y'all with that story. It was great. It was awesome. It was Western Michigan, UNC, and NC State. So it was a meet. So they had 3 events going on at one time. So it was like watching, being involved. And it was really, really fun. It was great. I just felt like looking at them, I was like, I can still do that. And then I had to get up to go to the bathroom and I'm like, up one step. I was like, damn, no, that's not happening. But it was great. It was a good time. I had a lot of fun.
Well, speaking of gymnasts and how great their bodies are, let's talk about bridal body pressure.
Bridal body pressure.
So we've
Sounds
talked
like an
about
acronym of some sort,
right? BBP.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I got that BBP, y'all. So we've talked about before, which we'll touch on a little bit later in this episode, about like plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Once you get engaged and how that has started to
do's
affect,
and don'ts. And, it's like a trend.
Yeah.
I feel like it's, or not a trend.
And I mean,
it's something has become part of wedding planning.
You get engaged, you get Botox, you get fillers, you get a little nip, get a little tuck, get a little suck, whatever you feel like you need to do.
Nip, tuck, and suck. Okay.
I mean, shit, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? So, I thought it was very interesting thinking of this episode and the topic and everything we were going to talk about, how usually, I will be very confident in saying, I feel like 98% of the time it's comments about the bride's body and never the groom or their partners or whoever. Like it's constantly about the female body and like why she looks a certain way. Like, don't you think she should have like dropped 10 pounds before the wedding?
That dress isn't doing her justice or like, whatever.
And she, so I thought it was very interesting.
People love to be critical.
Oh yeah. I do too.
I was going to say, like, we all do it.
Yeah. We all have, we're humans. But
I think, at a wedding, it's like, how many people can judge the bride?
Right. Well, and it's like, she obviously picked that dress because she felt beautiful in it. And you're sitting here being like, You probably could have lost another 15 pounds to really be idyllic.
And you know what? You know why nobody talks about the groom? Because nobody cares.
Because no one gives a shit. But it's like the groom can walk down the aisle as is and be totally fine. But I think it takes a huge toll on someone's mental.
Yeah. I wonder in a same-sex marriage if whoever is like the center of attention.
Like if it was like 2 men or 2 women?
Yeah. I wonder if whoever's like the center of attention gets that same judgment and kind of.
I don't know. I feel like men in general, and this is just me talking completely out of my ass, are more like physically confident. Like I saw some really random fact that a man doesn't start to get insecure with his body until mid-30s. Which I thought like, and most men, like, which I think is very interesting that like most men until they get to be about in their mid-30s are like, I mean, yeah, this is my body. Like, this is what it does. This is where I'm at. And like, while women, you know, we're 12 years old looking in the mirror and being like, why do my thighs touch?
Yeah. Like, no, I hear you. I get that. I don't think guys think at all about what their body looks like ever.
No.
Like, I mean, oh, yep, that's the beer. Like they're almost proud of it, you know?
Well, I mean, but good for them. So that what they're giving themselves, which leads us great into this first part, is they are cultivating self-compassion,
right?
Without even realizing that that's what they're doing. So I learned that self-compassion and self-love are 2 very different things. Mm-hmm. So self-love, that can take years, and you can have self-love. Well, that's and like self-compassion, but you can't have
one without the other.
Right. So like you can be self-compassionate, but you don't have to be self-loving. You can build to that point.
Right. Well, I think self-loving kind of encompasses mind, body, spirit.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
So when you are being compassionate to yourself, you are giving yourself acts of kindness. Mm-hmm. And a couple ways that you can do that is, which I read, and I'm going to sound so fucking smart right now, from the Harvard Health article. Yes, I know. I can read things from Harvard.
A bunch of old men making decisions, right? Deciding on what body compassion is.
Self-compassion. So some ways for you to comfort your body. Mm-hmm. And there was like a thing in there that if you have a comforting, like a food comfort, like you can
turn that ringer off.
That you can eat whatever like food comforts you in moderation.
Right.
Don't limit yourself to doing something, or if there's something you enjoy doing, whether it's like getting a massage, which I feel like is a typical thing, but I know there are some people who love to go to the movies by themselves. Yeah. That's a way that they are comforting their body.
Yeah.
I saw another thing that was on there that was write a letter to yourself.
Oh, that could be like journaling.
Yeah.
People who journal.
I thought of kind of like a couple things in my life where I'm like, you know what, if someone would have said that to me in that exact moment, that would have been great. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you're seeing yourself kind of like while you're planning your wedding and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so hard and I don't look how I want to look, or I don't feel like how I should feel, sit down, write a letter to yourself. Mm-hmm. Send it back to yourself, because you'll probably get it in a moment where you're like, I need to read this.
Yeah.
And then you will. And just because you know that it came from you, I feel like sometimes when you get the mail and you open it up, regardless if you wrote the words, it just is kind of like that outer body.
Yeah. Your kids are young, but my kids, having, gone through elementary, middle, all of that. Sometimes on the first day of school, that'll be like a thing. They write a letter to themselves, or they'll take a picture on the first day of school, and then this teacher will take a picture on the last day of school, and then they send that stuff home. That gets you, it pulls your heartstrings every time. But when you see the transformation or what you wrote, like, I remember my kids writing like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And just thinking about in a wedding, like even that kind of letter, where do you see this marriage in 5 years? Where do you want your life to be? Or, like what's important to you today may not be, important to you next year. I actually saw something scrolling on Instagram this morning that said there's only 2 people in your life that you have to please. It's your 8-year-old self and your 80-year-old self.
Oh, that's cute.
I thought that was really interesting. There's so much stuff out there on the internet.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. And I was like, wow, that kind of takes care of all that in between nonsense where you're
garbage smell.
Yeah. Where you're just
who am I? What am I doing with my life?
Right,
Why is everything falling apart?
Right. You're either living your best life or you're unraveling, you know?
There is no in between. There is not an in between. Give yourself encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one because I sit here, I mean, as a woman, like we all do, and just am very critical on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I sometimes will have to pull myself back and be like, if one of my friends said that to me, or if I heard someone saying that to one of my friends, I would be like, what the fuck? Just who the fuck are you to say it? And I would never say that to my friend. So why am I allowing myself to say it to me?
Yeah.
And that's kind of that, give yourself that encouragement of like, stop harping on
being so critical of yourself.
of like the small little things of your body. Practice mindfulness. So when I get in those moments of like, oh my God, I hate how my stomach is, my legs, my arms, like I'm getting like bingo arms. And it's like, I'm just being very overcritical.
Wait till you turn 50.
But you know what I mean? Like you just get so honed in on these negatives.
Yeah. I actually got a complex from people saying stuff to me all the time because I have always been like super thin, super small. And I was a gymnast. Obviously we were talking about that earlier. No, see, exactly. So people would always be like, oh my God, you're so skinny. You can eat anything you want. And when somebody says something like that to you, and I know it sounds so stupid. You're looking at me like, I don't feel sorry for you at all. But I would never go up to somebody and be like, oh my God, you're so fat. Have you ever thought about going on a diet? But just my whole life.
Oh, like putting it in the negative, like you need to eat something, like assuming you have an eating disorder.
Yeah, like what do you eat, like a bird?
Oh, okay.
What, you know, so over time it just got to me like, am I too skinny? Do I look bad? Do I need to gain weight? Like I did some things in my life to try to gain weight and not be skinny and not just accept that that's my metabolism or who I was, whatever. So it actually did give me a complex.
And I mean, it's just, I think it's crazy to even just like when a woman's pregnant and people like start saying like, oh my God, your belly is so big. It's like, yeah, it's still fucking attached to my body though. So like I'm big now. Like it's just, we don't think.
Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, people don't think about the words that they say sometimes before it comes out. And you're like, you don't know how that's affecting somebody. So if you're able to give yourself
somebody who could be planning their wedding, they're already super stressed. They already have body issues, or they're obviously very aware of things that they're trying to work on or change. And then you got to just kick them while they're down.
Yes. It's like, just so if you're able to give yourself that self-compassion, that encouragement, and find that area of mindfulness where you're like, okay, that comment pissed me off, or okay, I'm sitting here looking in the mirror and I don't like how my hair is. I don't like, something on my face. I don't like how my body is. I feel like, if I could just do a few more squats, my butt would be a little bit better and look better in my dress. Take yourself out of that moment for a minute. Take a deep breath, whether it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't meditate because my brain doesn't shut up. But like, if you're able to meditate, or like
meditation's good. Yoga is really good. Just, I mean, sometimes you just have to like, I just got to get up and move around
be in this moment.
Even
anymore.
Just move around, like go outside, walk down the street, take your dog for a walk. Maybe you just stop whatever it is that you're doing and get yourself out of that mindset and do something else
with that.
So focus on not focusing.
Ooh, my mom always says that I'm like tunnel visioned. And so she'll be like, unfocused. Can you just unfocus for a minute?
Sometimes I wonder, like,
in the most loving way.
Yeah. I saw that in like a business that I went to. I was like, focus on not focusing. And that just made me like focus.
Yeah, like what am I not focusing on?
I'm not even sure what those things mean. I don't know what they mean.
Okay, we're going to take a break and we'll be back to talk more about how to love your life and body, baby. And we're back. I feel like I always pause because I never know if you're going to bring us back. That's something we could probably work on.
Yes, we totally need to work on that.
Okay, so with brides and their body pressure that they're under, and I'm sorry if this offends anyone as us talking about women and the body pressures, but it's something that has been going on for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years.
Well, I think we'd be foolish to think that it hasn't.
Right. Yeah. But I think something that's happened in the last 50 years that has really pushed people over the edge are what the beauty standards are, like what you're being held to and what perfect looks like. And social media hasn't helped that. Magazines,
oh my God,
Photoshop.
Social media has made that worse.
So bad.
Yeah.
So
absolutely
bad.
worse.
This is something that I have seen after having 2 kids and having to really, again, relearn to love my body and appreciate what it's gone through. I see these fitness models out here and I'm like, bitch, you're 20 years old. Get back to me when you're in your 30s after you've had kids. If you still look like this, then I'll fucking follow what you're saying. But
well, that goes
until then, like, I don't have time to sit here and you give me advice on how to lose weight when you can eat nothing.
Well, that makes me think about
look fucking phenomenal. Like, I've gone through shit, honey.
That makes me think of the episode where we talked about the influencers and the weddings and how their weddings looked amazing, but they didn't pay for any of that.
Yeah.
Same thing with the body
and like
conscious,
Photoshop,
like the beautiful athletic wear they get to wear, the food that they're eating,
Yes.
sponsored.
Yes.
Influencer.
The lighting. Let's just talk like, it's just like, I mean, I love when I see like the girls that are like, it's, lighting is everything, like posing your body, and they'll literally be like 4 o'clock and they'll look fucking snatched, and then they'll be like 4:02 and they're just not posed anymore, and their pants aren't pulled up super high, and they're just like sitting there and they look like a regular person, and you're like,
so
okay.
It's not real.
It's not real.
It's
Totally
not real.
But the need to let go of the normal quote unquote body standard and quote unquote perfection is something that we're all striving for. And we've talked about before how ads are now coming up with actually having like real women in it. I think the average size in the United States of a woman is like an 8 or 10.
Bridal's like 12.
Well, I mean, like for just like a woman, like a street, which isn't big by any means.
Right.
It's every woman that you see walking down the street. It's not a large.
I think a lot of that has to do with the media and what the media, social media has obviously had its good and bad qualities.
Right.
But before social media, when it was just print magazines and catalogs and things like that, they only used women who were tiny. So that's
and photoshopped them still.
That's why we think, or we're brainwashed to think that that is what normal looks like, because they weren't putting women of other sizes out there. I remember
Chrissy Teigen, and she used to be a Sports Illustrated model and like has done other modeling and whatnot. She was on some talk show, and I can't remember what it was, with Brooklyn Decker, and they were talking about like they were just talking about being in the industry and being models and being photoshopped and what their bodies look like versus what is actually put out on the magazines.
Can you imagine what that psychological damage that does to them?
Well, they were just kind of like laughing it off, like it's like going off about like how ridiculous
they
it
know
is.
It's ridiculous.
Like like Chrissy Teigen was like, I mean, I have stretch marks on my thighs and my ass. And no one would ever know that. She's like, but I have them. And Brooklyn's like, I got them on my hips. Like, but it's just that kind of thing that the models themselves don't even look like what you're seeing on social media and in the magazine. So something that,
and there's so many beautiful people in the world, and yet we see the same celebrities.
Like, what's
or the same
model? She was like the first like very well-known plus size model, Ashley something.
I don't know her.
Whatever. I'll think about it in a second. But she came out and she was like, quote unquote plus size model, and she's just an average size woman.
Yeah.
Who's just like owning it. She's like, I'm not going to lose weight. I'm not going to do this. And she was on Sports Illustrated and has done other stuff. And she goes around and now does motivational speaking.
I think it's important to be healthy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I think there's also that fair
but healthy
line.
Doesn't mean skinny.
Yeah, that doesn't. It doesn't.
Thin,
healthy is everything
whatever.
to everyone. So finding what motivates you is, I think, what everyone needs to take into place. Like, if you're getting married and what's motivating you is I just need to maintain my weight. I need to just stay like this. This is what I need to do. Or if you're wanting to lose the weight, find what is motivating for you. Don't find a motivation of, well, this model looks like this.
And
I
want to eat crackers and hard-boiled eggs and lose 30 pounds. That's
not gonna. You need to find something that you can hold on to that motivation, something that speaks to your heart, and be realistic with your goals. There's a perfection, and like there was this one like ab like trend thing, whatever. It was like, I don't even know. It was so dumb, and it was just so unrealistic. My body could never do that. Like, or like the whole thigh gap thing. It's not about how skinny your fucking thighs are. It's your hips. It's the distance of your hips. I could have been like, I looked back at pictures of myself because I was like, what the fuck? Like, I look back at pictures of myself when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I mean, like, I'm a petite person now, but like when I was in high school, I was dainty, not even 100 pounds, and my thighs still touched.
Yeah.
It's how your hips are positioned. But I remember being like, I need to lose this weight, and I don't want my thighs to touch. That would be unrealistic.
Yeah. Why? And why?
And like
why?
people's thighs touch. That's
normal.
It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
So just have those realistic goals. Because if you set a goal for yourself,
finding your groove.
Yeah.
Finding your groove where you can be healthy, you can be mindful, you can appreciate, yourself and where you are and work through this process because you don't want to be stressed out. And if you put all this pressure on yourself to alter your body, based on what everybody else, what the whole world is showing you, then that's just going to make more stress.
Right. Like if you have an unrealistic goal, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
You're not going to hit it.
Yeah.
So perfection leads to disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Find some type of mantra that you can hold on to. Like if you're going through some health, whatever you're trying to do, again, and neither of us are saying that you need to lose weight or look a certain way for your wedding. If you are choosing to do this for you beyond even your wedding, I don't think your motivation should be your wedding because that's not going to be something you're going to hold on to. If you're going to make this change in your life, your motivation needs to be something more than that. And we'll talk about that.
Well, as you age, your body changes. As you have children, your body changes. So what you look like on your wedding day, you're probably never going to look like that again.
No.
Not because you're not maintaining it, just because life happens. Life is happening.
Yeah. So just find some type of mantra. Like right now in my life, my mantra for my gorgeous children who are hellions are big feelings, little bodies. Big feelings, little bodies. Like they don't know how to properly express their big feelings out of their little body. So I repeat that to myself to try and just be like,
to keep your sanity.
Yes. Because I'm like, I will smack a bitch. I won't, but I want to sometimes. So like I said, we've talked about in the past plastic surgery and tweakments. And I just wanted to touch on that again too, because we are all for plastic surgery. Like I'm trying to get a mommy makeover up in this bitch. Like we're all for it, but it needs to be something that you want to do for you, not for an occasion, not for somebody else, not for, and we've said this too, like, I feel like when women go on vacations, it's like 2 weeks of the vacation. They're like, fuck, I need to lose 10 pounds. And you're like, yeah, that's probably not gonna happen.
I mean, or it's springtime and it's bathing suit season.
Yeah. And you're like, it's winter and I'm albino. And it's like, so is everyone else. Like, take a look around. You're not the only one that hasn't been in the sun for months now. But
any of those things should be thought about to help you de-stress, help you go through the process of wedding planning in a smooth isn't really the right word, but a relaxed kind of way. And if you're doing anything that you want to do to make yourself feel better and get prepared for your wedding day, whether it's a tweakment or plastic surgery or just,
cleansing, diet, like
having
a healthy
self-compassion, it should be for you mentally, spiritually, and physically, and not like I have to do this for my wedding.
The extra pressure that we put on ourselves in general is bad, but with tweakments and things like that, please don't do please, one, don't get plastic surgery less than a year before your wedding, because that isn't good. And then tweakments, please don't get Botox for the first time 2 to 3 weeks before your wedding. One, you could end up with bruises all over your face. Two, you may not look great like you wanted to. The results may have kicked in. Find that episode that we talked about.
I was just gonna say, go back and find that episode
and listen, because again, we're all for it. Like I love my Botox.
Moderation should be the wedding planning word.
Yeah.
Moderation. Anything in moderation.
Yeah. Just don't let anything consume you to the point of going fucking nuts. So we're going to take a break one more time. We're going to come back, wrap this up, make you feel absolutely loved and caressed in our podcast bubble. Hello. We're here again for the final block.
Yeah. I want to say something, and I really hope this doesn't come out the wrong way because
Lord Almighty.
What?
No, go for it. I loved it. I love it. Now we're already
No,
in
I mean,
it.
because we've talked about this kind of stuff before and how you should love yourself the way that you are. And I just think, it's no matter what size, just to be healthy, to do things that are healthy in your life.
Well, and not even just like eating healthy, but like mentally
healthy, physically healthy, spiritually healthy. Just maintain a healthy balance of things.
Finding your balance.
Yeah.
Find your balance.
Yeah. Cause I think that's so important, especially as women, we're seeing more body types out there and body shapes and sizes and all of that, and less pressure to conform to unrealistic norms.
Sorry. I was on the Spanx website because I tore a hole in my leggings and I was on there, and I love that they have women ranging in all sizes of Spanx, because it used to piss me the fuck off when I'd go on the Spanx website and it would be a woman in a 00, and I'm like, bitch, you don't need those Spanx.
Well,
like, why are you wearing those Spanx? Like,
I think of it like, that looks great on you, but what's it going to look like on me?
Yeah. So
and I think that goes into the being seen.
Yes. And so in so many other places, are like online places are doing that. Like, I know Victoria's Secret now has like their plus size, and then like their real models, and
that's a whole nother.
Well, I know that, but
that's a whole nother conversation.
There's another can of worms there. But like, I love that there are
Athleta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're good at it as well. Like,
I follow them too. So
it's just, companies are now starting to really put together, because I hate when I go on, like you said, and I'm like, well, yeah, that looks great on her, but my boobs don't touch my face, and my stomach isn't kissing my spine. So what's this going to look like on me? And, like you said, when we were talking about like finding balance and having that, one thing that I used to see a lot on websites, and you brought up like the whatever and hard boiled egg, are the crash diets.
Oh yeah.
And the fad diets.
Yeah. Well, first of all, they're temporary. Okay. You might get a result, but
you'll definitely get a result.
Yeah.
But it's not going to fucking last.
It's not healthy.
No.
And the last thing you want to do when you're planning your wedding and you're going through this process is to get to your wedding day and have been doing something unhealthy and then get sick or like you're not eating the right healthy foods. And so your body is more susceptible to getting sick, or you're just run down and, you're mentally drained, you're physically drained. And so you can get a cold or anything like that can happen when you do these crazy, ridiculous.
Well, and two, it's like when people are like, oh, I'm not dieting, I'm just cutting my calories. Fun fact. When you cut your calories and you starve your body, when you start eating again, your body holds on to all of those calories because it's scared you're going to starve it again. Well, you gain more fat actually doing that because your body is terrified.
Well,
it's
and
hungry.
when you're cutting back on the food and depriving yourself of the calories, you don't lose weight as quickly because your body is like, oh shit, I'm not getting any nutrition.
Starving.
I need to hold on. Yeah. I need to store this fat like a camel.
Yeah. And because I don't know when I'm going to get fat again.
Right.
So it's just doing nothing and doing too much.
Yes.
Either one is not going to be good. Yeah. You need to have a sustainable plan. Like we talked about earlier in this episode, of finding what is motivating you, having a plan that is good for you. So if you want to, let's say, exercise, if you're move in a way that's going to bring you joy and have a reason for it beyond your wedding. Like, I want to be able to grow old with my partner. I want to be able to play with my kids on the floor. I want to be able to continue to walk and not have joint pain. And but like, just find something outside of something that's happening in 8 months. Like your wedding, yes, it's a big deal. It's one of the biggest days of your life thus far.
It's a good time to start developing new habits and new rituals. Maybe you go on nightly walks with your soon-to-be partner.
Yeah.
And so you're building new traditions and new things to do. Like maybe, during the whole wedding planning, Sunday is, we're going to go to brunch or we're going to pack a picnic and go to the park. So,
and not do wedding planning.
Planning. It's kind of like having another job where you have to time block or time manage what you're doing. So you're already working full-time probably, and now you're planning a wedding. So you have to make the time to do the wedding planning and then time to not do the wedding planning.
Right.
Don't let it be all consuming. And that's a good time to take up meditation or yoga, or start going for a walk, or Sunday is movie day, or do these things to take your mind off of
something that's stressing you out. Yeah. So just doing that. And then also evaluate to what your body is doing. That's something. And I don't know, I have to like kind of go back when I was planning my wedding. I mean, I do definitely remember like cutting some stuff out, because I was like, hold on, whoa, like I'm eating way too much pizza. Like we would order pizza or fast food, or like not fast food, like DoorDash or whatever, because it was easy. But like when you eat out, that's just not good food. So I was like, we got to stop.
It's bad for the budget too.
That as well. And so I was like, I need to stop. I need to reevaluate. And I would just kind of like think about too, you know, what is my body doing? And I remember, actually, this is something that stands out in my brain. I remember being like, oh my God, why is my stomach not totally flat? Like I've lost weight and my stomach just isn't flat. It's your uterus. I was trying to lose my uterus weight. Like I remember being like, what the fuck? So I kept like, so
you're so thin that your organs are sticking out.
But like, well, just like that bump down. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, why can't I lose this like little bottom pouch down here? Like she's just a cute little pooch.
That's
she won't go away
for me.
I Googled it, and it was like this whole freaking Reddit string, like of women talking about this, how like, it's not a fat pooch, it's your uterus.
Oh, so okay, so you're gonna talk about, oh, poor you're skinny. I'm like, oh, your stomach's so flat, your uterus is sticking out.
I never complained about being skinny. I was complaining about why I couldn't lose something that there was literally nothing left to lose. That's how crazy I was driving myself. Like there was nothing left to lose, and I'm now trying to lose organs like a fucking maniac. But it's like we go to those points. Google it. It's a whole fucking thread on Reddit. It's great.
No,
it pops my ass right back into reality.
It's like, what is this pooch here? And
pop my ass right back into reality. Like you're dumb. You're dumb is what's happening right now.
Gosh.
But it is like, just evaluate your body is doing on a regular basis. Like if you play tennis or you do something and your thighs are a little bigger, well, you're squatting, you're doing something. That's your body working. Like it's not, just evaluate what's happening in your body. If
your life should not revolve around your wedding planning. It should not be a be all end all for that amount of time that you're planning your wedding.
And we get it. Like you want to look great on your wedding day. You want to look, and we're not telling you don't do anything.
We're
like,
we're not telling you to be
but
a
also
couch
don't
potato.
do it all. Like don't try to get everything. Just reevaluate, change your idea of what your perfect body is.
Give yourself a little grace.
Yes, because your perfect body and my perfect body are going to be different. It's not going to look like all those fucking models on Instagram, because number one, my ass ain't 6 foot. Okay. I'm rocking in at 5'2" and a half, and that half fucking matters. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But it's just one of those things. Like we're so hard on ourselves. Just, you got to find something.
I mean, you have to go through your whole life with you. So
shit.
If that wasn't deep enough, I don't know. That just came to me. So, I mean, what little things are going to change along the way, but in the big picture, you're you are who you are. You're as tall as you're going to be.
For now.
You know what I mean? So I think, giving yourself a little grace and trying to embrace that to help minimize the stress and the pressure and everything else that's going on.
Yeah. If it's not bringing you joy, if you're on your elliptical or on your bike or on the treadmill or running, 6 miles a day and you're dreading it and it's not bringing you joy, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do that. Like I understand sometimes like, oh fuck, I gotta exercise today. Like I gotta go on a walk and that initial, but once you start moving your body, if you're like, oh, this feels so much better.
Sometimes you have to do that in life just to, keep the process going.
Yeah. But if it's something that you've been doing now for a while and you're like, I hate this.
Yeah. It's doing more damage.
Find something else to do. And also it takes 90 days for something to become a habit or for you to break a habit. So keep that in mind. Give yourself that grace. Right? Yes. Yeah. Consecutive days. Yeah. Give yourself that grace. One thing that we're talking about physical body, but like smoking. If you're trying to stop smoking before your wedding, it's going to take you 90 days for that habit to break. Give yourself that grace. Give yourself that time for your body and that addiction to stop.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes with the wedding coming up, it is that little kick that you need to
to make that healthy turn.
Make that healthy turn. Yeah, exactly.
So it's just something that you've got to be in the moment of you, appreciate yourself. And hopefully your partner is sitting here telling you, I asked you to marry me, or you asked me to marry you. I said yes, you said yes. And I love you for who you are right now in front of me. I'm not asking you to change.
I mean, we were talking about at the beginning. Nobody gives a crap what the groom looks like, or the groomsman. No one's criticizing them.
No one's like, oh wow, like you showed up with that dad bod over here now. Like, I love that dad bod is like a thing that people are like, oh my God, I love a dad bod, but it's like a mom bod. Like, please fix yourself. You haven't bounced back. Oh my God. Like, it's just, we're so critical of women, and it's like, why? Like, what the fuck? Why can't we
Maybe we're just all jealous of each other in our own weird way.
Oh my God.
Envious.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I think that's enough of us preaching empowerment for the day. I hope that's how everyone took that. But follow us, like us, share us, send your stories of any type of empowerment or crazy pressures you felt getting married for your body, whether it was physical or mental.
Yeah, those would be great stories to share, because I think they'd be very helpful to other people.
Yeah. And we'll just talk to you next fucking Tuesday. I forgot what day these came out. I was like, I don't remember.
I can't even say it out loud what you just said.
Tuesday?
Yeah. Never mind.
Okay, bye.
Bye.